If you can go to the club and spend $80,000 on bottles, and you can spend $10,000 to go in the club, but you haven't done nothing to help the neighborhood. You know, this young man just gave out 500 pair of tennis shoes, and he about to give out another 500 pair of tennis shoes.
So full of shit, it ain't funny. Miss Lucio, hold up. Louie, go help her.
I'll take care of Mr. Guy.
Cut that shit off your face.
Yeah.
You look like a beatnik.
Why don't you grab 50% of this ASAP?
I want this shut down yesterday.
Taking over this neighborhood. And when John Gotti was there, you know, this wasn't happening. You know, he kept it in check and stuff like that. So when this I think has...
They wanted him at any cost, and they got him at any cost.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
You know, bricks don't fall out of the sky in this neighborhood unless I'm thrown. You understand? Yeah.
You're watching your wallet, blood.
Whoa.
Respectable. I don't want it near schools. I don't want it sold to children. That's an infamia. In my city, we would keep the traffic in the dark, people to college. They're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls.
Peace, family. We are back again. And today we will be building on the gangster versus the thug. Because I don't think a lot of y'all know the difference. But we here. That's what we're here for. We're here to educate. You know what I'm saying? We're here to educate. Even sometimes it's street education like Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Early Ice Cube was street education. Hip-hop always has street education. And I am an MC and a teacher. And we're going to learn today, in the words of Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Let's build. So, right now, Big U is indicted. He's the talk of the social media, black social media. Many people are saying, yo, I'm glad Big U is gone. Many people are saying, man, I'm glad Big U is gone. And I find that kind of funny because this is the same community that was just celebrating Big Meech coming home. But now they are happy that Big U is gone. And, you know, it's hypocrisy. But in the words of Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick said, talking about the black community, I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. Right? So are we still being hypocrites? Let's look deeper into this. So Big U was indicted, right? And his indictment highlighted extortion, highlighted him extorting famous rappers that you like, right? And even taking lives of, you know, teenagers that was under his wing. And, you know, even, you know, people are trying to connect him to the great Nipsey Hussle's death, right? So many fans who love this culture are now starting to say, man, yo, that dude was a bad guy right there. That was a bad guy, right? But, hey, yo, BMF about to drop the new season in the same breath, right? So my question first is, do you like gangsters or not? Do you like gangsters or not? We know you like gangster rap music. You like gangster rap music. You like to hear about, you know what I'm saying? I put his brain on the wall on the floor, now everybody could see what he was just thinking. I burn each one out of these. Your whole head to crack like sunflower seeds. Right? That's how we grew up, right? That's how we grew up, battle rap, right? 1,000 ways to kill a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, I'll blow you back out with the spine with the 9, 10 times, then come back and do it again, rewind. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like that. That's what this culture loves, right? Gangster movies, gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? Imaginary killing niggas, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I shot the nigga so many times the gun started smoking. I seen his chest open. You like that? This is what this culture represents. But then when you see it happen to your favorite rapper, or you see your favorite rapper getting extorted, you say, "Oh man, what's going on, man? I don't like that no more." See, most rap fans have never been on a mission, and what we call in the streets a mission is hopping in the car, riding with your mans. You know you on a mission too to go put in work on another human being, right? To go see what a bullet does to flesh when it hits the skin, and you know what I'm saying, burns through, puts holes in bodies, right? Makes bodies shake and lock up, right? Make you go home and have a tough night sleeping, right? Make mamas get that phone call and cry and plan funerals. GoFundMe drive when he died, the whole hood cried. Would've hurt his pride at the funeral, dog look alive. Niggas shoot up funerals too. Did you know that? Yeah, that ain't just rap. That's real life. It sound good over a beat though, don't it? Yeah, it sound good over a beat. You know what I'm saying? But this the same community that said, I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover, moving dope. Hallelujah. One nation under God. Real niggas getting money from the... Something like that. You know the song. You know the song. You love gangsters. You love gangsters. 50 Cent is named after a gangster. It was a real gangster named 50 Cent who was a jack boy. Right? Robbing niggas. Right? So the community love gangsters, and this is gangster rap, but it's a distinction between a gangster and a thug. Now, first we got to understand that every community has gangsters, and every community has thugs, right? Gangsters are needed. You heard what I said. Gangsters are needed. You just like police are needed, right? But you just need good police, right? So you need gangsters, but you need good gangsters. And you need good gangsters to it's kind of like, you know, some insects are created to patrol other insects, right? Keep that. I need this insect to keep that insect out, right? The dog keep the cat away, right? The cat keep the mouse away, right? The gangster keep the thug away. The gangster keep the thug away, right? See, we don't have gangsters in our communities like we used to in the 30s and the 60s. In the 30s and the 60s, and even into some of the 70s, we had gangsters, right? And what a gangster is if you go through the community, right? You gotta look at the Italian mafia. You gotta look at John Gotti. John Gotti was a gangster, right? It was Italian thugs in the community, but they was in check. And this is why when Gotti finally got indicted, the whole neighborhood, even the civilians, was crying. Yo, we need him. Yo, we need him, because without him, the thug Italians is gonna run rampant over here, right? So the gangster John Gotti and the mob, even though they did dirt, the gangster ain't no angel. He do his dirt. It's gonna get done. But when he did it, he made sure that, you know, no old ladies got robbed for their purse. No chains got snatched. Right? Nobody broke in nobody's houses or the civilians in his neighborhood. If you did that, the gangsters was on you. Right? So the thugs were scared of the gangsters because the gangsters had the power. The gangsters ran the neighborhood. Right? So this is what kept them out of... This is what kept the crime low in John Gotti's neighborhood. The civilians felt safe. The civilians felt safe. See, in Gotti's neighborhood in 1989, right? August 23rd, 1989, to be exact, 16-year-old Yusuf Hawkins from Brooklyn, New York, a black teenager, him and his friends, they was walking through this Italian neighborhood, right? And they ran into some Italian thugs. And about 30 Italian thugs, they ambushed them. and they beat these black kids. You know what I'm saying? They beat these black kids. And they beat Yusuf Hawkins specifically to death, right? And they end up shooting them. One of them pulled out a gun and shot him, right? So this happened in 1989, and this led to a Reverend Al Sharpton leading marches through this Italian neighborhood, right? In the late in 1989, and in this Italian neighborhood, the Italian thugs and racism run rampant, right? They throwing watermelons at Reverend Sharpton and all that. At the marches, they throwing watermelons, they screaming, they calling them monkeys, all that, right? Even though they was the ones in the damn wrong, right? Yo, it happened in your neighborhood. So as Reverend Al Sharpton keep coming to this neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? He keep coming to this neighborhood, you know, he making it be seen because the shooter still haven't turned himself in yet, right? It got to the point that they even sent, you know, a Italian mob dude to, you know, shank Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton got shanked, and that he got out the hospital, he was right back on the mission. So some of y'all niggas who be coming at Reverend Al Sharpton crazy, I get it, he ain't perfect, but he put in a lot of work before y'all niggas was even born for you. Understand that. Now, that nigga done got a knife to his gut, you know what I'm saying, for marching. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because one, you should know, but two, the only reason that the Italian shooter turned himself in, right, the Italian thug shooter turned himself in was because of the Italian gangster, John Gotti. John Gotti said, hey, he making the neighborhood too hot. Tell him, I said, nobody can make him turn himself in except the gangster. The gangster said, tell him turn himself in, right? Nigga know where your mom at. He know where you live at. Yo, turn yourself in. Soon as Gotti demanded he turn himself in, he was in the next day. This is a true story. You should look into it. Yusuf Hawkins, right? The Italian gangster, right? The Italian gangster controlled his neighborhood. The police is on payroll. Ain't no police brutality because the police is on payroll, right? This is the difference between the black gangster and the thug, right? The thug commits crimes on his own community, right? On civilians. The gangsters usually keep it amongst gangsters. You gotta understand that, right? So, every community has gangsters. The Irish have gangsters. The Italians have gangsters. The Asian communities have gangsters. The Mexicans have gangsters. So the gangster element is always gonna be there. You just need good gangsters, like you need good police, right? Because gangsters control the thugs. Gangsters stop the thug from breaking in your house, right? When you break in your house, it's a consequence. When you rob that old lady up the street, it's a consequence, right? When you start trouble in this community, it's a consequence, right? That's what the gangster does. That's the protection that you get from the gangster. Is he perfect? No. Is he perfect? No. But a real gangster controls his community from the thugs, right? For example, I'll give you this. If the gangster leaves, you want to get rid of the gangster. If the gangster leaves your community, now nobody can control the thugs. Because the thugs don't listen to police. They scared of police, but they don't listen to police. The thug is breaking in your house. The thug is, all the crimes that's going on in the black community. You see, a 5-year-old got killed in Fort Worth. That's thug behavior, right? When I was in the streets, I was thugging. We wasn't gangsters. We was thugging. Petty thugging. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a bean. You know what I'm saying? The gangster's on top of the thug. When the gangster pull up, the thug get in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro. Yo, that nigga, look at that nigga. The way he doing it. It's the way he doing it. You know what I'm saying? He above you. It's rules to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. So every community gonna have gangsters. And you need gangsters because gangsters gonna keep the thug in line. Gangsters will keep the thug in line. If you don't have gangsters, you're going to have thugs running your community, shooting babies on accident because they idiots, right? Snatching your chain when you out with your old lady, robbing your mama. You know what I'm saying? You know, doing foul things to your mom, breaking in, doing foul things to your mom or your daughter or your sister. The gangster stops all this, right? That's why when John Gotti finally got indicted and had to leave his community, the civilians cried. The civilians at the courthouse crying, flipping cars over. Yo, we need Gotti. He's a good guy. They know that. They know Gotti wasn't no angel. You think they didn't know Gotti was? Yeah, Gotti ain't an angel. He do a little bit of extortion and but guess what? It's better than them thugs out here running this. Gangsters keep the police on payroll. Gangsters in the union. Make sure your people get hired. Make sure your people don't get fired. Make sure your people get a livable wage. That's the gangster, right? The gangster got his hand in things that give him power. All the black, when you watch The Departed, the intro, he said, man, the niggas didn't understand this for the Irish gangster. The niggas didn't understand in America that you don't ask for something, you take it. And see, the gangster, the black American gangster, he takes it. He takes power, right? He takes power. Gangsters are needed in communities. So yeah, you don't like Big U. You don't like Big U because he did your favorite rappers dirty, and I understand that. Gangsters ain't angels. Gangsters ain't innocent, even though gangster rap make it glorified and make it sound like some big, mythological, beautiful dream. When in reality, a gangster, this is dark stuff that the gangster deals with. But the gangster is a gentleman. The gangster is a gentleman around women. He's respectful. He's kind. He's nice to old ladies. He running youth programs. He funding. See the Panthers. The Panthers was gangsters. Niggas had it confused because they seen the conscious element to it. But the Panthers was gangsters because they went to war with the thugs too. If you was a black pimp, they'll rob you. They'll kill you. They killed black pimps. What are you talking about? The Panthers robbed banks. What are you talking about? Just because they was conscious, you think they was soft? These niggas broke Assata Shakur out of prison. These niggas was organized, tied in with the Cubans. Tied in with the Cubans. What are you talking about? The Black Panthers was gangsters. Went to war with the police, shot police. You need to do the knowledge. This was gangsters, right? These was not just because they was black. They took the money, robbed banks, and brought the money back, put it into the youth programs. They wasn't angels. They wasn't all just college students. They was gangsters, and they kept the thugs in check. Y'all can't be out here robbing our people, going to war with the bloodsuckers of the poor. That's what the gangsters do. Now I'm not saying that Big U and Big Meech and Larry Hoover and all them are angels. Hell no, I'm not saying that. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff they do, but I understand it, right? Because your only option is gonna be the gangsters or the thugs. And believe me, you want the gangsters. Because the gangsters control the thugs. The gangsters keep the police on payroll. Right? So when you see black communities getting all these police beating down black people and poor people in these communities, where the gangsters at? The gangsters should have the police on payroll so it don't happen. Right? But you hear them say it all the time, I hear Chicago rappers say all the time, we don't got no more gangsters, we just got a bunch of wild thug niggas. And that's why the crime is all messed up. That's why that's why it's no organization. Right? Because the gangster, if Big Meech was there, you know what I'm saying? They said it was more in line. When the gangsters was there, it was more in line. But without the gangster, it's just thug niggas. Rampant thug niggas. And in black America, in every city, every major city, even small towns now, run rampant with just thug niggas. Who breaking in your house. I gotta watch my language on here, but breaking in your house, stealing your car, you know what I'm saying? Robbing you at the ATM, petty crimes, robbing your purse, snatching your chain, shooting up the nightclub, hitting girls on accident that's going to prom, thug niggas. See, you need gangsters to keep this in line. You need gangsters to keep this in check. So yeah, you didn't like Big U. You know, you don't like Big U. But Big U, you know, thugs were scared of Big U. The thugs were scared of Big U because they knew it was consequences if they got too out of line. If you get too out of line, the gangster gonna spank you. You couldn't talk to Gotti no type of way if you was just a petty thug. You see what I'm saying? The gangster has all this shit on lock. You remember the movie Original Gangsters, right? And it take place in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana, a wild city. Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. Shout out to Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It's a wild city. And in the 90s, it was turned up. And it's still turned up. But in the 90s, it was turned up when this film came out. And it was like it had you know what I'm saying? It had a bunch of old school cats in the, it's early in the morning, I'm forgetting the, you know the film, Original Gangsters, right? And you had the black gangsters, right? The black gangsters coming in to put back in line the black thugs who ran rampant in this community, right? Who started running rampant in this community, shaking down this community, robbing the stores, terrorizing their own black community. It was the black gangsters that came in and put the thugs in check. The police ain't gonna do it. So you need gangsters. You don't like that Big U was shaking down your favorite rapper, okay? Well, your favorite rapper, your favorite black rapper, come to these cities. I don't agree with the checking in thing. However, I'm gonna give you perspective. Your favorite rapper raps about killing other black people, right? He raps about robbing other black people. He come to a town. He don't care if that woman is in a relationship or not. He want to sleep with her. He'll do it. He ruins black families with his money, with his riches. He don't give nothing back. He want to go to the hood just to take a picture and get up out of there. Objectively, I'm not mad if a nigga say, nah, bro. You gonna have to pay for some of that. You gonna have to come off some of that bread. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come down here and tour the hood like that. If you want to come down here and try to floss your riches on us, on our people, you're going to have to give back to it. We're going to take some of that money and you're going to have to put $50,000 into this youth program for these black kids. I might take a couple bands off the top for sure. Rent is due. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, you gonna give something to these kids that you messing up their mind with your poisonous rap music. Cause now I say this all poison. All of my words to enemies, it is poison. Rappers who only rap about keys, it's all poison. How could you call yourselves MCs with your poison? Think about the kids you mislead with your poison. With your poisonous words, your poisonous images, aiming guns at the camera all day. And you ain't bust nothing. You ain't bust nothing. Just aiming guns at the camera. And niggas sit there and watch that all day getting brainwashed. When you come to a nigga hood and the nigga say, hey, yo, you got to check. Okay, we're going to extort you for that then. You going to give some of that money back to the community. You may not agree with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the Panthers did. Objectively, the Panthers would, if a pimp come through, you know what I'm saying, he pimping out the girls in the community, you know what I'm saying, selling dope, selling heroin, whatever. Hey, yo, we gonna rob you. You coming to borrow some of that money. And that money, we gonna take some, put it on, give some to the movement, and guess what? We put some of that money back to this food drive for the kids. For the kids you misleading. So, I'm not hollering free Big U, but I am here to give you a perspective. You know what I'm saying? I love Nip as a rapper. And Nip loved Big U. They may have fell out. But if you really listen to Nip, you know what I'm saying? If you really listen to Nip, if you really a fan of Nip, You know that Nip always shouted out Big U in his music, and he even, in his own words, talk about how we got this whole shit on lock. You want to come down here? You want to get your chain get snatched? Holla at us. We help you get it back. That's what Nip said. Holla at me and Big Draws. We help you get it back. So you gotta understand, Nip moving like a gangster too. These niggas buying blocks. These is gangsters. Nip may have started off with the thug shit, but Nip was on his way to be a gangster too. Feel me? Gangsters buy blocks. Gangsters keep the police. Remember, Nipsey was meeting with the police, right? Gangsters. This what helps your community not have, all kind of kids getting gunned down by the police because the police on payroll. This what gangsters did. This what Italian gangsters did. This what Jewish gangsters did. This is what you do. The black community, you gotta make your mind up. Do you love gangsters? Or do you just like the thug shit? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all mixing it up. A lot of these niggas that y'all calling gangsters is just thugs. They just petty thugs. Yoking girls up, beating women up, beating sisters up, shooting pregnant women in the stomach after the club on accident. Cause they can't even aim the gun right, just wilding. That's thug behavior. Gangsters control all that. Gangsters got all that in isolation. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always said you gotta study the gangster from the 30s to the black gangster from the 30s to the 60s to the 70s. You feel me? Gotta look into that. But niggas was just hollering free Big Meech. You know what I'm saying? And you was gonna throw them a party because you respect gangsters. You know what I'm saying? You respect gangsters. Like I said, you gotta learn the difference between thugs and gangsters. You know? Every community gonna need gangsters. I know I keep reiterating that, but I'm trying to drill the point home. You know? Because with our community right now, it's just thugs everywhere. Thugs everywhere on drugs and smoked out and wilding out. These is just thugs. And that's what's wrong with the community. It run rampant with thugs all over the HBCU campuses, all over each community. Thugs, thug niggas, lost niggas. And you need gangsters to protect the civilians. It's kind of, when you talk about the 92 crime bill, that's the last lesson. When you talk about the 92 crime bill, where black civilians had to go to the police, had to go to the government to say, hey, yo, can y'all help us, please? Because the thugs is terrorizing our community. That was sad. See, because the Panthers would have checked that because they was gangsters. They would have kept them thugs in line, right? Going to war with the bloodsuckers of the poor. Right? The gangsters keep the thugs in line. So you need your gangsters to say, hey, yo, don't talk to that old lady like that. Who you talking to? Don't snatch that old lady purse. That's Miss Sarah. You don't know her? Yo, you better get, hey, yo, we gotta holler at you about that. Right? You speak respectful. Right? You gonna give some money to this youth program. You gonna buy some jerseys. You know what I'm saying? You gonna give money back. You robbing the hood, you gonna give it back. That's real. You gotta understand that, you know? And on that note, I hope the lesson resonated with you. The gangster and the thug. You will have one. You just have to decide, which one you rocking with the most. You know? But you will have one. And without one, without the gangster, the thug does whatever the fuck he want to do. And that's why many of your communities are in the garbage and they getting gentrified because the neighborhood ain't getting taken care of. Right? Drive-bys on the street every day, kids getting killed. It's easy to come take your shit. Nobody feel bad for you. You need gangsters to keep all that in line. But you need good gangsters. Just like cops. You need cops, but you need good cops. And see, the drugs that plagued the black community never really got into the other communities like that because the gangsters kept it out of there. right? They kept it out of there. Even when you watch Godfather of Harlem, you see that Bumpy Johnson, he tied in with the mob, but he get the work from them and have to go sell it to his own people, right? And that's why in the Godfather, at the commission round table, the mafia Italian guy said, "Yo, we don't want it in our community. We gonna keep it respectable with the way we do our street organized gangster business. We gonna keep it. We gonna keep the civilians, in a respectable neighborhood." He said, "Give it to the moolies. That's the blacks. They animals and they'll sell it to their own people anyway." And see, we can say, "Yo, they put it there. The CIA put it there and all this. Yeah. But we chose to sell it." And the Black Panthers, who was gangsters, tried to get out, tried to keep it out. They tried to keep the drug dealers and the pimps and all the gangsters out. And then they got infiltrated themselves, and then many of them got hooked on it. And then when they was gone, it was fair game. The thug niggas, the pimps, the drug dealers, all that shit that's in rap right now plagued the community. And for 50 years, the community's been plagued with the thug nigga, ratchet woman, ratchet sister. It's plagued us. Drugs, pimps, money, hoes, clothes, all the nigga knows, in the words of Big. And see, Tupac, he was tied in with the Black Panthers. He's a cub. And you got to look at when he was before he transitioned, he was always connected to Black Panthers, political prisoners like Geronimo Pratt, right? Political prisoners like Mutulu Shakur. And they was coming up with the thug life code of ethics, right? So that's Tupac, who represented the thug life, tapping in with the gangsters, which was the Black Panthers, and coming up with a code of ethics for him to go back and get to the streets, right? No drug dealing in the school zones, no drive-bys to hit kids. These tweaks, because the street element will always be there. But you need gangsters to control the thugs. And if they don't have nobody, authority over them, they'll run rampant, and civilians will suffer. As we see civilians suffering, right? We see civilians suffering every day in our community. And it's because you're looking for politicians to save you, but they won't. They don't care. You had that 92 crime bill, you had that, and you didn't like it because they came down hard. They came down hard on you, right? Locked everybody up. Harsh sentences, right, for niggas who touched that. You looking for people to save you. The police can't save you. You need gangsters. Celebrities can't save you. Gangsters can save you. Yeah, and they won't be angels. They won't be angels. You may have to come up off some of that for that protection. It's capitalism. It's a capitalistic society. However, the gangsters will keep the thugs in line that don't respect the police. They will respect the gangsters. Right? One man's enemy is another man's hero. One man's hero is another man's enemy. You have to understand this. You have to understand this. So, on that note, we out, family. Peace.